皆さん、こんにちは。Ji-san desu. Hajimemashite. Hello, everyone. Hello, my friends. Today, I'm going to try something completely new experiment. This is kind of a test for myself. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to basically rephrase, so repeat what I can see on the screen in Japanese. And this content, I have not actively listened before. Instead, I've passively listened to it in the last 2 hours while I was taking a nap. So I want to test myself to see my own self-designed system of shadowing, not learning hiragana, not learning katakana, not learning grammar, instead focusing on listening and speaking, which is basically shadowing all kind of contents without understanding what I'm saying, without the vocabulary. I want to see how far can I get, because this is the first step towards full fluency. The pitch accent, the actual pronunciation, all these things, you have to get this one right from the beginning, because once you have established certain accent, you can't change it anymore later on. This is something that most people don't get it. So this acts like a bit of test, and this is live. This is real. I'm not cheating. The only reason I can't show you actual footage is because I don't have a second camera. I only have an iPhone, and this iPhone I'm currently using to do a voice recording. But I will blend in the slide I'm reading off. I'm literally listening. I'm not even reading. I'm mostly listening to what I can hear. I have a headphone on. I'm listening to my computer, the audio. I will repeat everything what I say, I hear, and I will not take a break. Let's see how well this works. I'm going to put the phone down now and start the process. Whole video is 8.5 minutes, so maybe this whole thing will go over 10 minutes. Let's start. 今日は天気がいいですね。今日は天気がいいですね。今日は暑いですね。今日は暑いですね。寒くなってきましたね。冬は好きですか？冬は好きですか？最近雨ばかりですね。最近雨ばかりですね。もう12月だなんて信じられないですね。信じられないですね。もう12月なんて信じられないですね。This one was hard. Just remember, I have never looked at the slides ever before. I literally only listened to it while sleeping. This is brand new material to me. 本当ですか？本当ですか？いいですね。いいですね。そうなんですか？そうなんですか？そうだといいです。What you hear in the background, the clicking, is me pressing the space button, space bar on my keyboard, so I can stop the two repetition that Tanaka-san is reading out. そうだといいです。羨ましいです。羨ましいです。羨ましいです。すごいですね。すごいですね。よかったですね。 よかったですね。知らなかったです。知らなかったです。教えてくれてありがとうございます。教えてくれてありがとうございます。いいアイディアですね。いいアイディアですね。そのコート好きです。素敵ですね。素敵ですね。素敵。そのコート好きですね。好きですね。その帽子かわいいですね。その帽子かわいいですね。ここで買いましたか？どこで買いましたか？ファッションに興味がありますか？ファッションに興味がありますか？週末は何をする予定？No, I got this one wrong. I didn't listen to the whole sentence. Let's try again. 週末は何をする予定ですか？ This is a new phrase for me. 予定ですか？予定ですか？予定ですか？する予定ですか？何をする予定ですか？週末は何をする予定ですか？先週末は何をしましたか？しましたか？ Oh, these are new words for me. Never encountered before. 先週末は何をしましたか？しましたか？先週末は何をしましたか？何をしましたか？何をしましたか？何をしましたか？先週末は何をしましたか？先週の旅行はどうでしたか？先週の旅行はどうでした？ I can't read from the screen and read out from my own brain at the same time. So I can either listen or look at the screen. I can multitask. This is interesting. This is a new discovery because until now, when I do shadowing, I never shadow by looking at the screen. I only look at the screen for pictures, for comprehension. That's the reason I like travel videos where the man is not in the screen. He just talk. He talk nonstop. I just shadow him, and the content I understand through visual context. I don't read hiragana. I can't even read hiragana or katakana. I don't read romanji either. Right now, this is the first time I'm actually trying to shadow while reading, getting a context by reading romanji, and I think I'm doing worse. I'm actually doing worse. So let me try again this section. The whole section I try again. From what are you going to do this weekend? This section I try again. This time I just audio. I close my eyes. I just audio only. 週末は何をする手ですか？ Through, okay. Here's the interesting thing. Once I got used to wanting to read from the screen, the brain switched to that mode. So this means I will have no choice but to start learning hiragana now. Yeah, from here onwards, probably I have to start learning hiragana. So I think I hit the limit of shadowing without any vocabularies or any learning of the reading system. That's a good thing, because the whole idea of shadowing is not about learning the language fluently alone. It's the step one of getting the tones right. Yeah. Okay, let me continue. Senshū matsu wa nani o shimashita ka? Senshū matsu wa nani o shimashita ka? Senshū ryoko wa do deshita ka? Senshū no ryoko wa do deshita ka? Yasumi no hi wa fudan nani o shimasu ka? Yasumi no hi wa fudan nani o shimasu ka? Donna eiga ga suki desu ka? Donna eiga ga suki desu ka? Donna eiga ga suki desu ka? Nigata ne tabemono wa arimasu ka? Nigata na tabemono wa arimasu ka? Saikin dou desu ka? Saikin dou desu ka? Shikoto wa dou desu ka? Shikoto wa dou desu ka? Kakao wa dou desu ka? Kakao wa dou desu ka? Sato-san wa shashin wo toru no ga jouzu desu ne. Jouzu. The infamous jouzu. 日本語上手ですね。日本語お上手ですね。That kind of things. It's funny. I can't stop laughing internally when I think about the word 上手。佐藤さんは写真を撮るのが上手ですね。山本さんは本当に絵が上手ですね。山本さんは本当に絵が上手ですね。今度ぜひ教えてください。今度ぜひ教えてください。教えてください。今度ぜひ教えてください。よければ今度一緒に行きましょう。よければ今度一緒に行きましょう。日本人方ですか？日本人方ですか？ Sorry, I missed the no part. 日本人の方ですか？いえ。ご出身はどちらですか？ ご出身はどちらですか？どちらですか？日本語勉強してます。ています。日本語勉強しています。勉強しています。勉強しています。勉強しています。日本語勉強しています。Okay, this one's useful. This one says, I can speak Japanese a little bit. This is the very first time I encountered this phrase. I always want to learn this phrase. Now I have a chance to learn this phrase for the first time ever. So, 日本語は少しだけ話せます。So, let me listen to her one more time. 日本語は少しだけ話せます。少しだけ話せます。Okay, I want to learn this one properly. You are literally witnessing me doing learning and shadowing at the same time. Oh, 16 minutes. Okay, never mind. This is just my learning lesson, recorded live. As you can see, I'm not a genius. I'm not a special person. What I'm doing is repetition on the phonetics. I'm mining wording and sentences all at the same time. Because in day-to-day conversation, that's my goal. I want to be a day-to-day conversation fluently in 6 months. To do that, I need to take all the shortcuts, which means I have to ignore all the things that doesn't add to that. That means I will never pass a test. I probably cannot even pass the N5 test if I continue my path. Instead, I want to focus on listening and speaking. Listening, speaking, listening, speaking. Nothing else matters. Basically, I want to speak like at least like a 5-year-old Japanese boy in 6 months. So if I can do in 6 months what a Japanese boy can do in 5 years, so 0 to 5, what a Japanese guy learns in 0 to 5, I want to achieve similar speaking level and listening level of a 5-year-old Japanese at my 6 months progress bar. Right now, I'm basically 20 days into the process. 20 days. This is basically my 20th day learning Japanese, starting from absolutely nothing. Let me just double check this phrase. I really want to learn this phrase properly now. So this one's called, I can speak Japanese a little bit, but spoken like with a woman's voice. So this is a girl who is speaking out. Tanaka-san, the author, is a female. I think she's a late 20s female. So her intonation is slightly more feminine. And I'm not even sure if her word choice is very feminine. I don't think she would do that to her audience. It's probably a neutral, proper Japanese. That's my guess. I'm just shadowing her right now. Let me take a zip. You can follow me basically literally on the screen when you go to the same YouTube channel. I will put a link on it and you can see how I do this. I'm not afraid to show people how much mistake I make because this is normal. This is how you're supposed to do. You should be making tons of mistakes. Right now, I mean, I can say this, at least I can say more right now than a 6-month-old Japanese baby. that far I can say. I can have more Japanese phrase than a 6-month-old Japanese baby. Progress is everything. 日本語は少しだけ話します。日本語は少しだけ話せます。話せます。日本語は少しだけ話せます。日本語は少しだけ話せます。I do one more time. This is a very important phrase. I want to get this one right. This is the key to speaking natively. I'm giving you the secret of how to speak any foreign language like a native. What this happens is a native speaker, what he does is he goes through endless amount of rephrasing, reshaping automatically when you are born into a certain region. For example, in your area, let's say you are in the United States, you are born in Boston, and you may speak, you just take on the Boston accent. And the Boston accent will rub off on you because everybody else speaks that way. But the Boston person moved to California, he will speak with a Californian accent if he's young enough. But if he's not adaptable enough, he's not young enough, he will forever speak a certain home accent. Best example is famous actors. Even the best actors sometimes still get the accent wrong. Most famous example I can give you is Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie is born and bred here on the Gold Coast, the same city where I am. She went to the same school. She went to a school that's like 3 minutes driving away from where I live right now, Somerset. So, in all her roles, regardless how hard she tries or how many accent coaches she uses, she always have a very slight, unique Queensland accent. Let's just say it this way. She speaks like a Queenslander. You can't change that. There's always a little bit Queenslander accent in her language. That's just the way it is. Yeah. For those who don't know, Queensland is the state in Australia on the east coast. Gold Coast is the second biggest city in Queensland. The biggest one being Brisbane. Yeah, that's the side note. So let me go back one more time to the same phrase. 日本語は少しだけ話せます。少しだけ話せます。話せます。少しだけ話せます。話せます。話す。日本語は少しだけ話せます。I need to get this better. I'm not there yet. I'm 30% there. 日本語は少しだけ日本語は少しだけ話せます。少しだけ話せます。I need to get this one better. I'll give myself one more try, then I'll move on because I'll try another day. Video is right 22 minutes long. But it's a good witness how I learn. This might be applicable to you. This may scare you off. This may give you hope that you can do the same. I think anybody can do this if you understand the system, because I believe most people can learn easily 3 to 4 foreign languages. Yeah, every person in the world, including those below 100 IQ. I really mean it, because virtually everybody in the world, even those at the bottom 1% of IQ distribution, speak at least one language natively. If that guy can speak that language natively, speaking, I'm talking about speaking, not writing, not reading, not academic achievements, but simple phrases, speaking, surviving, speaking like a native. Even the bottom 1% least intelligent people in any country can at least speak if he has the capacity to do that. Speaking. So native level speaking is achievable by virtually anybody for at least one language, but 70% of native speaking ability can be achieved by virtually anybody if you use the correct system. Unfortunately, the school we have today does not teach you how to learn language properly. That's the reason virtually all the Japanese in their school system have learned English from the age of 5, and by the time they graduate high school, they still cannot speak, but they can read, they can write, most of the time better than most English speakers, but they can't speak, because that is the way how the teaching is done, how the learning is done is wrong. It's not the way how we should be learning a language. Step 1 of learning language is acquisition of communication ability. And the first communication you have with any stranger when you meet is not take out a notepad and start writing. It is to say hello. So this is what everybody in the world can achieve using the right method. Okay. My last round around finishing the sentence, I will stop the video here because we're pushing 30 minutes. That's good enough. The rest I will continue the rest myself. And I don't need to record that. I will put it as now quickly on YouTube before my son comes back from school. All right. One last line, and then It's matinee time. 日本語は少しだけ話せます。少しだけ話せます。日本語は少しだけ話せます。日本語は少しだけ話せます。話せます。Yeah, that's it. 待ってね。じゃあね。See you around, my friends. I hope everybody learn a new language. It doesn't matter what language you use. This learning method works on every single one. Trust me. Particularly for the harder one. The harder the language is, the more important is the shadowing at the very beginning because you must get the intonation correct or pitch action correct. People judge each other based on that. The fluency, this is the one thing most people don't get it. People don't judge each other's language ability. You know the first 5-second rule of the impression? You never had a chance to make a first impression. If you want to go to Japan, you just need to learn the most simplest phrases. The first thing, like konnichiwa. The konnichiwa is hard to get right. Trust me, go try to get the konnichiwa correctly. It's not that easy. Most people say stupid things like konnichiwa. That sounds so bad. When you say konnichiwa, people internally would know, okay, that's a foreigner who's probably just learned konnichiwa on the airplane. And now I have to politely reply to him or her to say, oh, 日本語上手ですね. And then the dude will stare at me. I don't even know what I just said. So don't make that you. Instead, you can do better. Start with konnichiwa, konnichiwa. There's many ways to say konnichiwa, but get konnichiwa right first. Then you continue with the rest of the phrases. Yeah, things like hajimemashite, the way how you speak. Those things matters. Those things matters far more than you think. Because once the way how you say konnichiwa burned into your brain, you will no longer use memory to speak. Instead, it's a neural reaction. You have a direct neurological recall. Because what it does is you have a thought. The thought translates into a speech pattern, instead into a content. So there's no translation involved. A native speaker does not translate. Neither should you. So get your konnichiwa correct. It's more important than you think. Okay. My last time. 日本語は少しだけ話します。So I haven't gotten this one right. This is also because this is the very first time I'm learning this, and it takes about 2 days to 3 days by sleeping over and repetition. Then you'll have a ability to have a neurological active recall. That's the reason I can say things like hajimemashite, konnichiwa, jisan desu. Those kind of things I can say because it's neurological active recall. And for me to do the same thing with this phrase, let me do this one more time. I'm really in love with this phrase because it's not that easy for me. Let me do one. 日本語は少しだけ話します。日本語は少しだけ話します。I think I say します instead of せます。That's part still not right. 話せます。話せます。なします。せます。話せます。日本語は少しだけ話せます。日本語は少しだけ話せます。日本語は少しだけ話せます。日本語は少しだけ話せます。I think I got 少しだけ she has a slightly more break between the だけ So 日本語は少しだけ話せます。日本語は少しだけ話せます。Alright, that's it. On the dot, 30 minutes. 30 minutes Japanese lesson, how to learn Japanese with Ji-san. Alright, またね。じゃあね。